Good evening, everyone. I don't want anyone to panic, but we have a very important message for you. We're in the fifth week of Top versus Bot. We're having a little bit of a crisis here. Truffle, who's joining me as always, the latest, partially greatest commissioner of the LCUS. We got a crisis. We got some slides and we got time, but I'm out of energy. I need y'all's hype. So if you could transfer that to us while you're watching, we'd appreciate it. Let's get started though. Truffle, how you doing, man?
I am doing great, and I'm doing my best to transfer my energy to you so you can uh, go all Goku on them. I'm ready to jump into slides, and speaking of slides, jumping into the first one, more unexpected, Van Hohenheim's Fiddlesticks or the Spanish Inquisition?
Um, I will say the Inquisition is top, just because that follows one of the fundamental rules of life. No one expects the Inquisition. But I would say if there's a new rule that we need to add to the dictionary, it's going to be von Hohenheim's Fiddlesticks is never to be expected. So, top is definitely the Spanish Inquisition, but very close second on the bot is Van Hohenheim's Fiddle.
I'm going to have to agree with you on this one. I think the Spanish Inquisition was just slightly, just by a hair, more unexpected than Van Hohenheim's Fiddlesticks, if only because I've lost more than one blue buff to Van Hohenheim as the jungler, so we all know that that's where he truly lives anyways. So that's why I'm going to go with the Spanish Inquisition. More interesting bot lane. Lux Morgana or Heimer Blitzcrank, and I think that Blitzcrank player is a particularly famous one if I remember right.
He is world's greatest. Check the book, and if it doesn't say my name, you on the wrong planet. But I'm gonna say Heimerdinger and Blitzcrank. My man WD fan, he brought it. We owned that laning phase. It was incredibly strong for us. Um, we had some issues. I flash grabbed maybe a little too excitedly at times, but we were able to secure kills in that game. A whole lot more exciting than watching someone be stunned for 15 minutes during the laning phase in a Lux Morgana bot lane. So as always, Sigtal Lord top Heimerdinger Blitzcrank.
I did enjoy watching that game just an absolute ton. There was your aggressive flashes forward, which I were normally worth it, and then there were a couple of aggressive flashes forward by other people who shall go unnamed, netting in kills going your way. And I think as much as it truly pains me on a personal level, Sig, I'm gonna agree with you a second time in a row. And the main reason I'm saying that is because I don't think it's that interesting to watch people be stunned until the end of the game. And I just, between Lux and Morgana, I mean, Lux's stun is long enough to let Morgana's stun come back. Morgana's stun lasts a half a game already. So that's just that.
It's always rough, and I understand it's difficult to agree with me. Being correct is new to you, but I'm sure your body will adjust. Now, speaking of being correct, who's more likely to win Game 3? Are we looking at Blitzkrieg or Nine Lives? If this did go to a Game 3, folks, I don't know if we'd see the end of it in my lifetime. I'd probably die of a heart attack before it was over. I'm going to say Blitzkrieg. Nine Lives used 8 of their 9 lives to get to that point in Game 2. So I'm going to say Blitzkrieg could definitely close it out a third time because the second time that wasn't happening.
I don't know though. That Dragon Ball Z analogy earlier got me thinking. If Nine Lives almost died 8 times, doesn't that make them incredibly strong now? In fact, maybe even a little bit stronger than Blitzkrieg.
If we're going to stick with the DBZ analogy, that would make Blitzkrieg like final boss level. So unless like 9 lives has plot armor, and as a player on another team, I certainly hope not. I am nobody's side character. Um, yeah, it could be. I mean, they're showing such strong play, and it doesn't seem like they have a back foot to play off of. They're always in that position where they're in command of the game. Blitzkrieg, as always, leaning on their mid laner Exia. The whole team's performing well, but it's very easy to perform well when your mid lane has the pressure of I don't know a category 5 hurricane. So Exia, you're bringing the noise, man. I hope you're able to continue that against all all my opponents, not against me. I hope your keyboard breaks.
Well, the universe must be aligning and back and all is well, because I'm going to have to disagree with you. I think that Nine Lives is, in fact, more likely to win Game 3. I feel like the momentum was starting to swing all in their favor. It went from just a really rough Game 1 to a really rough start to Game 2 to Nine Lives pulling it out. So I think Nine Lives got this one.
Could be. Now, moving on, the more important in the LCUS is it practicing as 5 or pick and ban? This is probably one of the closest top versus bot questions ever been asked to me. I'm going to say what's most important is pick and ban. There have been teams that have incredible synergy, that play together often, that have just completely lost a game in pick and ban against a team that doesn't practice as much. So I'm gonna say the top in this position would be pick and ban.
I'm actually gonna go with practicing as 5, and pick and ban is incredibly important. In fact, I kind of prided myself on pick and ban strategy. I certainly have come up with a couple strategies here and there which paid off during the pick and ban phase, and I do think that they are incredibly important. Also, I really like that it's a old client in the picture that's gonna chuckle out at me, but I actually think practicing as 5 is more important. So you just see that synergy, like option 12 when they were untouchable in split 2, and and like Nine Lives and Blitzkrieg are both those teams are playing together very well, and that's not to that's by no means the whole thing, but what I know from those teams in particular is just from either being there or talking to it, that those teams have been practicing a ton and prioritizing that teamwork and that synergy, and I think practicing as 5 is the harder skill to build up, and has the biggest differential in skill.
I will agree that it's very, very important, and I think it's what will separate second place from a championship team. But if second place did nothing but have a balanced pick and ban, they could still make it there. But the team that practices at 5 and still has a good pick and ban, they're going to be your LCUS champion. Moving on, if we're going to talk about these upcoming championships, which are just a few weeks away, folks, which is the better motivator? Is it going to be people watching you, or is it going to be playing with your friends? Which oddly enough, they use the image of Friends here. Graphics team, get it together. You're confusing our audience. I'm going to say viewership. When I look back and I see... I rewatch my games. I'm able to experience it through the eyes of the caster. I do get really motivated to perform better as they're calling me out or they're giving me big ups. And even when I'm watching my friends play, if they're playing on another team or someone that I'm particularly invested in, viewership, just watching them go at it, seeing their failures, seeing them overcome, it is a huge motivator for me personally. So I'm saying top is not the cast of Friends, but being viewed by the cast of Friends. So Jennifer Aniston, please tell me when you're watching my game.
I hope that she watches every game, Sig. I hope she watches every game. This is a really interesting question to me, because the answer depends on when we're talking about it, right? The better motivator for me in the middle of a match has actually been playing with people that I like, playing with friends. I don't really take into account, I try to put on a good show and a good performance, but I don't really take into account who's watching me when I'm playing for the LCUS. It's always who I'm playing with and how to get them ahead. And, I'm just thinking about playing with them and that kind of stuff. But conversely, the other 99% of the time, where I'm practicing, where I'm sleeping, where I'm watching the VODs, the better motivation for me to improve as a player is that I'm being watched, is these VODs. I watch them and I go, oh, that was a dumb play. Why did I do that? That kind of thing. So I'm not sure how to answer that. I think the spirit of the question is a better motivator in a match, and I'm gonna go with playing with friends.
I can get behind that. I can. Now, speaking of get behind, what should I do on bye week? If you do have to sadly experience bye week, I barely made it through mine. What should you do? Should you watch the LCUS or go outside? Folks, as someone that's been outside and suffered through all the tragedy and all the pain and suffering that happens outside the doors, offline, away from the joys of 5v5, massively online battle combat, never go outside. The best thing you can do every Sunday evening at 5:30 Central Standard Time, 6:30 Eastern Time is check out the LCUS. You need to be cheering. You need to be yelling. You need to be saying, Sigtal Lord, you're the best. Please do everything. Just accomplish your goals. Live your dreams. Sig for president. Spam the chat, folks. Let me know you're there. Let everybody else know. If you are listening to this and you're not one of our players, if you're not posting in chat, you're letting me down. So you better stop it now. I expect to hear that you're watching the LCUS week in, week out.
I am inspired by your answer, Sig, but I gotta say, this is a rookie question asked by rookies. What should I do on bye week? Watch the LCUS or go outside? The answer is both, obviously. I can't say I've ever missed a bye week where I didn't go outside, enjoy myself on a beautiful day while listening to Twitch on my phone, walking around and enjoying the games. The clear answer to me is I'm going to do both.
I am so sorry whoever did this to you, Truffle. I promise I won't let anybody hurt my baby boy ever again.
I'm expecting another slide. So that is it for our slides. But speaking of never being hurt again, I want to bring up how important a healthy diet is. And by that, of course, I mean that I go to Simple Soyman, who has sponsored this week in this Top versus Bot, and I go to Simple Soyman for all my soy needs. The Simple Soyman has been bringing handcrafted soy and health foods to the Midwest for over 35 years. You can find their products in the greater Milwaukee, Madison, and Chicago areas, or visit them online at thesimplesoyman.com for a full list of their store. Want to thank them again for sponsoring this week of Top versus Bot. Sig, any final comments you want to make for the audience?
I am pumped. Please tune in. Watch me stomp up on some White Wolf this weekend.
I'm looking forward to seeing some fantastic games. And like Sig mentioned, please join us at 5:30 Central Standard Time on Sunday for the next set of games. Have a great one.